Hey guys, I am DM Zone. This is the Gamer's Oasis. We're going to do a 10 PED hunt in Arkadia. Hey guys, welcome back. So this video ended up being a lot longer than I initially intended it to be. 10 PED hunting level 0 mobs. It's not only uninteresting because of how little damage they do, it's very long because of the starter weapons, and in general there was no big anythings to happen. Also, I had a severely diminished amount of questions, so please post questions everywhere, anywhere. If I find them when I do the hunting videos, I'll talk about those questions. I'll answer them. I'll talk about the topic. Maybe it's just, hey, talk about XYZ, whatever it might be. It might be talk about why this ore is important, or why you think mining is better than hunting or not. Whatever the question might be is, or ask me an unrelated topic like, hey, why is D&D 3.5 better than D&D 4 or 5? And then we can have an at length, probably entire hunt discussion just on that topic. Or some other game that you've seen me play or think I might have knowledge about. And if I don't have any knowledge about it, I'll be like, so I don't know a whole lot about Dragon Ball Z. Thanks for the question. Maybe I'll look into it sometime in the future if I ever get into a game with it. And we move on. Or these hunts, you'll see things are going to change because I'm learning that I do and do not want to do different things. For example, in this video here, you see that I am hunting gallards. Gallards basically are turkeys. They are level 0. This is the only maturity level they have. So they don't have youngs or punies or matures or old, or they don't even have males and females. They just have basically hens, but they call them gallards. Cool. It's a filler mob. There's several items on there that were good building blocks for crafter types, and I thought it was a good choice. The main ones are, there were some hides, two different types of hides. There's gallard hides, and then there's animal hides, which I don't know what they do differently in the crafting world. I just assume they're different. Then there is animal muscle oil and animal residue oil, or animal something residue. Anyways, you get the idea. So, and there's no real markup on the residue, but there is on the oil, and that's to be expected. It is a crafting item that is well known to me. I guess residue is used to make sure that crafting, you don't lose as much in crafting, which is a very valuable thing, and I will not be getting rid of those if I ever use crafting that uses that. There is also some one-off items you could find, some small little things here and there. One of the things I ended up getting was hair gel. You'll see it a little bit later. It was a small amount. So I'm going to talk real quickly about that, and then if that's all you care about, then you can just skip the rest of this video. But I'm going to talk about two other things in this video. So I'm going to, as you see, I'm doing a kill count across here. That's going to be a separate thing. But I'm going to put a little timestamp here so you know where to go for the second part, or the third part of the video. The second part is going to be discussing my long-term goal with Entropia Universe. I'm just going to clearly state it, be upfront with it, and kind of go from there. The second one is I'm going to be talking about a group on Facebook that I manage called the Gamer's Oasis. And if that interests you, or you want to know more about that, then there'll be a timestamp for that, and you can go see that. Okay, so let me get into some of the items I found. As far as I remember, and I'll put sticky notes or notes around here if I'm wrong. I got hair gel. Hair gel is a good item as far as if you do face sculpting and body sculpting, it was a component to do the craft of those, okay? But importantly, they don't sell for often, and they don't sell for a lot. So I think it was like 0.5 or 1.5. I think I got 4, and it ended up being like 1.4, 1.54, 1.55 PED or something, or yeah, like that. So it's like 1 PED, 50 something pec. So I looked to see how often it sold and what the markup was. The markup was good. Markup was like 128%, so 28% profit additional to the TT value. That 1.5 PED was TT value. But the problem is it hadn't sold in the last week, and it didn't sell today. So it had sold in the last month, so that's good. But I don't know how often it could sell. It might only sell once a month. And if that's the case, that does me no good. I'm going to have to find a person directly to sell to, because I can't time, especially on a 54 PED or 1.5 PED item. I can't risk 54 PEC to that when it may not even sell, because there may not even be a person to buy it. And I might not be the only person who is selling it, which makes it a further difficulty, because they might buy someone else's versus buying mine, and I think they bought two. So I have four. I don't even think this is going to work. So I'm going to look for a face sculptor, body sculptor, that type of stuff, or someone who wants to buy it and stockpile it to larger quantities. Maybe there's some event where it becomes important. If you are that person, feel free to hit me up in game. Even if I don't have it, I'll keep you on a contact list so that I can contact you in the future. Now, as far as the rest of the items I found, there was nothing crazy. It was a lot of shrapnel. It was a lot of the basic stuff you get, the animal residue, the animal oils, the muscle oils, hides, different types, that type of stuff. Nothing else really stood out. But I wonder what else can drop from it. I started out with 42 kills. I know this because of my iron mission I have with the IFN quest, where you gotta kill 100 to complete a task, and then you get skills, and I'll get into that in a minute. I knew I had 42 on that already from when I was swanting, and then I went all the way through that. I turned it in the middle of the quest, in the middle of this video, as you can see, in the middle of my hunting. And then I restarted it, and I got the next one, which is for 500. And I got to like 121, I want to say, on this one. So I killed, right at 160 birds. Well, in count will be there. I don't know what it is specifically at this moment, but it was a lot. So I killed a lot of birds. Good sample size, not a great sample size, not a pure sample size of like 1,000 or more, but definitely a good amount, not 5 or 6 for sure. So I got a good idea what comes from it, and as you'll see at the end of this, I actually end up becoming slightly profitable. Now, I did not count for the item decay because I didn't buy the item, the weapons. They were free starter weapons, or weapons I got from quests, from like being a little bit into the Camp Icarus ones, the Buckeye one or whatever it is. And so that weapon is free, and it's still got a little life on it, but not much. But I ended up making, I spent 10 PED in ammo, and I ended up making like 12.38 PED back. So slightly profitable. For starting out, I don't think you can ever hope for anything more than being just slightly profitable. Some of the things to take into consideration, because that's not actually 12.38 into my pocket. I now have to sell like 5 or 7 PED worth of items. That may become more, so I might push it to 14, not likely. But I also have to get enough of it to make it worth selling. Now, I could take that to maybe someone who's wanting to trade, and they would split the difference with me of real market value on the auction house, or what they're willing to pay versus what the trade value is. But if I want to get the full profit of it, I'm going to start doing stockpiles. Now, this is going to branch into the long-term plan of Zone and Entropia universe. All right, so that's going to basically be the hunt. I may come back to it, but I think that's basically it. The long-term goal is to be a non-depositing player. So I want to I'm not being sponsored by anyone at this point in time, though I may be in the future. I'm not being paid or gifted or anything to do this. But one of the things I saw early on was I was watching Serial Overdrive's videos, and he talked about being a non-depositing player, and that's where I got the terminology from. That shout out to him. But I saw it from a different point of view. Okay, he started this game out to play it for fun, had no intentions of doing it on YouTube and that type of stuff. I have played games for a very long time, since 1999 online, and I played single player games like Diablo and all that type of stuff. Not the Diablo 3, but Diablo, like the original. I'm a little older. I'm in my 40s. And there was games before that came out that I can't even remember the names of, and I really wish I could right now. There's some tangent. So, anyways, played a long time. I know my play style. My play style can be very grindy. You give me a task, you tell me it's hard, but you tell me there's a reward at the end. I am one of those that tends to go from it. That's actually where the name Zone comes from. Zone is not my birth name. It's not my government name, as some people would say. It is the name that was given to me by my fellow guild members. It was in Dark Age of Camelot. Played Dark Age of Camelot from the time it came out in 1999. Basically joined this guild, and we played it all the way to about 2003. So it was a long time ago, and I haven't really looked. I do have videos from there, so maybe I'll go look at the... I would play that game, and because of the amount of hours I'd play, and because of the dedication I had towards the game, and because I'd always come out ahead in the end, people used to say I would get into a zone. And back then it was very common to swap out numbers and letters and do that elite stuff back in the day before we had whatever we have now. And so I just put X, because the X can sometimes have a Z sound, and I don't know if that's really an X formation, but whatever. And that's where we come with Zone. So now you know the history of where my name comes from. And that's because I would work 50 hours a week at the lumber yard in Florida. And then I would come home, and then I would play till I went to bed. I'd wake up, go back to work, wake up, go back to work. And on the weekends, when I had them off, I'd play 18 hours a day for those 2 days. And I would always be in some weird place, and I would had a bot account where you could have 2 accounts, because it's common to bot in that game. And I would literally be operating 2 keyboards and 2 computers and be botting 2 characters at the same time. It would be less of a bot and more of a person actively playing 2 characters at the same time. I would actively heal. I had temporary buffs I maintained. I didn't use clickers or cheats and that type of stuff. It was always me. I would actually do it on the same computer, and like you could queue up a spell. So I would queue up a direct heal, and then I'd queue up a group heal, which would heal both the bot and the actual person, because they were standing right next to each other. And then I'd alt-tab to go back to my main character, set up an attack, and then set up a Q attack. And then I would alt-tab back, and then I would hit my direct heal, alt-tab back, because by then my direct heal had gone off, and my group heal was going, but I hadn't got there yet. So my next heal after my group heal would go off with a direct heal, and that would catch me back up. Anyways, I played 2 trolls. One was named Yagnog, that was my shaman, and I played Egros, who is my berserker, also both of them trolls. And then later, I played a kobold warrior, which I'm forgetting his name for some doggone. I played him, but the one I really farmed on was Runestall, which was my dwarf warrior. I had over 50 characters in that game, so all at max level. Play that game a lot. Off the topic, my long-term goal is that I know in this game that I'm going to be able to play the when and where I need to play to get something grinded down and do it. It may take me a little longer, not being a non-depositing player, but that's kind of my point. I wanted to show, because I like the concept of this game, I wanted to show that a non-depositing player could play. They could spend 10 PED a month or so hunting or mining or playing the game and having fun. And that could be an hour or so of your time. And you could progress. And then 6 months, a year from now, maybe it's going to be 10 PED twice a month. And I'll be able to continue that and maintain and still have the resources growing in the background so that I continue doing this, and then maybe I'll be doing 50, 100 PED hunts and that type of stuff. And then a player can say, wow, I have the complete journal history of Zone, starting as a non-depositing player. He started out here, but now he's over here spending 50 PED month. I'm not doing this. What can I do to actually get to that point? And I'm a depositing player. I wanted that to kind of be like a template for people to see that this could happen. I may fail, but I'm willing to state before trying, this is my goal. And I hope people respect that and don't try and railroad me. But, if the game can actually be played as a non-depositing player from the start in 2020, starting from 2020, not starting back in 2005 or whatever the case might be, but starting now when things are harder, as many people will tell you, you don't get as much for sweat, you don't get as much for this and that, and the iron markets drop because of whatever. And then that says something, and that says something about the game, and that says something about the stability of the game. And if I can do that, then that's a game I actually want to invest in. So I'm not saying I'm going to invest my own money, but time is my money. So if I can do this and play this game for 2 years, and now I want to decide if I want to buy a land area or deeds, I can go ahead and make that assumption or decision based upon what I've experienced so far. And now I'm an informed person investing money into the game for whatever reason, or just for the continued fun, and knowing that this game is going to continue to exist because they made good decisions up to this point, or whatever. Maybe I'll be like, no, this game's horrible, but we'll see. Right now, I'm being positive, and I believe this game is good, so we're going to move forward with that. So let me go ahead and talk about the basic plan. So sweating is going to be sort of the foundation everything is built upon. I'm already sweater gatherer level 3, profession level 3, and I'm almost to level 4 as of the doing of this video, which is August 1st, just so in case you want to know. So I've done a lot. I've started July 14th. I downloaded the game that day. From July 14th to August 1st, I'm already gatherer level 3.7 or something like that. So I am continuing that path, and that's going to be where I go with it. Sweating has already provided so much. I sold some sweat early to get enough money to be able to get a refiner. I sold some sweat to a guy who had got a global and decided to give back to the community, and through that interaction, him understanding what I'm doing and whatnot, and just being cool, I have now ended up leaving Calypso, making 9 PED in the process. Watch my vlog 1 video for more information on that. And I ended up traveling to Arkadia. Now I'm going to have a second video coming out too called Welcome to Arkadia. That video will also detail this in more detail, and I don't want to go into it here. It'd be too long. So, but that is the sweat is the foundation for everything. It's what's paid for hunts. It's what's paying for me to do mining attempts and that type of stuff. The mining and the hunting and the stuff I get during those events, those hunts for ore or creature, or animal residue or whatever. Is going to be what I sell in the auction hall and what I trade to traders and that type of stuff. So while hair gel sounds horrible to sell on the auction hall, if I can find a direct person to sell to, that might be worth it and will be good. So the mining and hunting and that type of stuff is going to be more of, if you want to look at it, keeping the metaphor going, the mortar between the bricks. That holds everything together, because from there I get the crafting stuff, from there I get the stuff to sell in the auction hall, from there I get whatever. So the next level would be trading, auction hall, crafting, that type of stuff. All that stuff is the structure. It's the stuff that's hard, that holds everything, that makes the building resistant, if you want to say, and that's going to be the bricks or the rocks or however this building is made. The mortar goes around it and it sits on top of the foundation. So those 3 things are going to be built at different speeds. I don't know which one I'm going to do first. I can tell you I'm not doing crafting for a while. Most estimates are between 20 and 30,000 in a single area until you start becoming profitable, and then you have to go really into that area before you really start to become profitable so you can pay off that 20, 30,000 loss that you just suffered. That's a whole different topic. I'll be doing videos on that at some point in time, probably. But then all this is working towards a building I'm going to call freedom. And the freedom is, I want to go do a 50 PED hunt. Okay, I grab 50 PED, I buy 50 PED of ammo, I go hunt. I don't have to sweat for 50 PED to get there because I'm making enough off of different things that happen that I have the freedom to just go do this. Now, some people talk a lot about deeds and that type of stuff, and I want to refer to deeds in a different light than what some people have wanted to state it as. I'm actually going to refer to deeds as sort of they are a pitfall. They're a trap to a degree. When you are first starting and you're wanting to make money and you're wanting to do whatever, your money, just like a new start business, is better in your hands, the creator, doing whatever you can with it. Whether that's hunting to then sell, whether that's trading to do whatever. Reality is trading is going to be where it's better. So all this extra money I'm getting, all this extra from the trade hall I get, all that goes back into trade hall or more hunts, so I get stuff for trade halls. But the end goal is I refer to it as trade hall because it's auction hall and the trade at the same time. So to work back into that, because that's where the money is to be made in this. You're not going to make an enormous amount of money all the time consistently in hunting or mining. Occasionally you might get a global or maybe a HOF, but that money would be better spent going back into the trading hall to go ahead and build money there versus spending that back into mining, because you put that back into mining and you're going to suffer a loss and probably lose most or all of that again. And you're probably not going to get a global to cover the first global. That's just kind of how that is. So as far as I've seen. So the pitfall is getting deeds too early. Deeds are a great long-term profit. Like you can take 25 PED, you make 7 PED a week, but you make 7 PED a week for the rest of your life, per se, the rest of the game's life. But if I had 25 PED and I could invest that into something and then turn that into 25.5 PED, that is more profitable, because that could happen literally within a day or an hour, let alone a week. And even if it did happen only once a week, that still is 43 PEC more than what that deed would pay me. So multiplier of like 8 essentially, or 7 is 7 is basically what you're looking at for making money on this. It makes sense in the long term when you're dealing with a lot and the market can't bear the weight of a person aggressively trying to manipulate the market or try and work within the market. It makes sense at that point in time to then invest in the deeds. But early in the game, I don't recommend, as far as I can tell, looking at it from my eyes, from the financial side of things I've seen and how people hit these type of things in my prior experience in games, it does not make sense early game to buy deeds. Now, 6 months to a year from now, when I'm trying to inject 200 PED, I'm hoping, trying to inject 200 PED into the markets. If my market is not big enough and I can't go to other markets and continue this injection of funds, then, maybe it'd be worth spending that 25 PED into a deed that pays me a residual 7 PEC a month or a week. And that would be worth it. So anyways, there's that. Okay, so I want to talk real quickly about what a Gamer's Oasis is. A Gamer's Oasis is a Facebook group that I started. I don't know exactly. I'll put it in the below or next to my picture right here so you can see the actual date this was started. It's about 2,700 people. It was started out with trying to gather people from different games and different genres, mythologies, to video games, to role-play games, to all that type of stuff. If you were a nerd and you were into gaming stuff, I invited you into this. I've cultivated a very high percentage of people that are into this type of stuff. And I would like to say 99% of the people in there are actual gamers. They're not like grandmas who just clicked yes and didn't know what they were doing. Or grandpas. Sorry for picking on grandmas. I did it in the last 2 videos, actually. So, I welcome people to come check out a Gamer's Oasis. I call it AGO for short. But AGO has been used by other people, so I really don't use that brand-wise. But it is a place where it's a community that probably will be injected into my videos because of my 85 subscribers, 82 of them are AGO members. So there's a larger percentage of them right now than there is of you guys. I hope this will change because I hope to get a lot more subscribers, not just because I want fewer AGO members. But they are, I welcome discussion and debates and that type of stuff. We keep it PG-13. If people want to talk about certain things, we talk about them as far as like, well, like, you know, people have discussions about which weapon in D&D is the best for a one-hander with a shield. And then the people like, well, what edition? And then, you know, you get into that little back and forth. Or people like, hey, I'm trying to do this new idea, and this is what I'm thinking of. Or my players in my game are doing this, and this is what their problem is. Or I'll have a game producer come to me and be like, hey, I have this game. It is gaming related. Do you mind if I post a video on it so people can see early access of the game? And then that's how it happens. So yes, it's a very open, friendly game to that type of stuff. So if you made it this far, I want to thank you for watching. I appreciate the fact that you made it through this video. This is kind of how I think the first hunting videos are going to go. I'm going to try and keep them all 10 PED and try and keep track of them. And then I'm going to go, so I'm going to start, I've started out with laser rifle, and the next time I'm going to go is laser pistol. And then I'm going to go through 3 different melees with the long blades, the short blades, and then the fists, the brawler. And then when I get done with that, then I'm going to circle back to laser rifle and do it again. And we'll compare week to week, or the hunt to hunt, shall we say, even though they're going to be months apart and whatnot, how, if they're profitable, if they continue to be profitable, where it might go down, where some hardships are. It's going to be kind of an ever-arcing thing. And I'm going to keep up with these 5 different hunting methods for a while because it helps raise a bunch of little skills and increase things that are important, like strength, which will give me more hit points and more ability to carry items and ore and that type of stuff. And I don't know if I'll show my mining runs, or maybe I'll do my mining runs in very much the same method I'm doing here, is all B-roll, run at about 2.5 times speed. You know, it makes it a little bit more interesting, and I can talk about a topic and pontificate or whatever, and then move on. Or we could answer questions, and it would be something that was doable. Anyways, so if you want to see more videos like this, please let me know. If you don't want to see more videos like this, please let me know. Like and subscribe, of course. If you want to have a discourse with me and talk, I find a place to conversate with me, and then I'll try and use that as long as it's reasonable within the next video. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the Entropia universe. Wave and say hi, or, you know, let me know what you think, whether it's friendly or not friendly. I appreciate all feedback, because I don't grow without feedback, even if it's negative. Try and be positive or constructive, but let me know. Anyways, have a good day. Thank you. Bye.